get the chat going here so I can see the live chat because I'm using my phone. So if you would just be a little bit patient. Let's see here if I can find. Here we go. All right. Let's see here if I can see myself in frame. There we go. All right, you guys. I'll wait for some people to join, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun live stream. I'm thinking just, you know, as my usual live streams, I haven't done them in a while, but like my usual live streams, I'll just, you know, if I think of something, I'll show you guys, and feel free to, you know, ask anything in the chat window. If you have any questions or requests, I'm just gonna set up my computer here so I get some sound as well. Just hold on a little bit. Let's see here. Here we go. I get some sound. Nice. Here we go. I can hear my microphones. All right, so again, I'm doing this with my phone, so you're not gonna get the best audio quality, but you know, we'll make the best of it. So I see some people are already dropping in. Luis asks, "How are you?" I'm doing good. I'm on vacation right now, so my vacation means that I, you know, get to do more content. So I'm doing this live stream. Let's see here. Cavsum Cadence. Sorry if I'm butchering the handles or the names. Drumming is getting harder and harder. Yeah, I can totally relate to that feeling. Probably it's more that you're getting better and better, so you're finding tougher stuff, you know, and that's making it feel like it's getting harder and harder. But all right, you guys, I'm just gonna do a little bit of sound check, and you can tell me in the chat if it just sounds horrible. But you know, I can't do anything about that because we're using phone, you know. Sounds okay? Sounds good. Nice. All right. Here, let's see. Nice to see so many people joining. This is awesome. Haven't done this in a while, so I feel a bit rusty doing the whole live thing. Let's see here. Can you play Caravan? No. If you mean Caravan from Whiplash, I haven't listened to that song in a while, so I'm not gonna just bust it out. Sorry. I'm 62 and I have a strick instructor. Stick instructor or strick? Don't know what strick is. Sounds good. That's awesome. Your ghost notes are incredible. Well, thank you. You know, I try to practice my ghost notes as much as possible. And for those of you who might be wondering, I get a lot of questions on Instagram about ghost notes, like how to get better at ghost notes. And, you know, ghost notes are just soft taps with your drumsticks, mostly on the snare drum. You can definitely play, you know, ghost notes on the toms, but they translate, you know, really well on the snare drum. So I mostly use, I guess you would say German grip. I mean, I switch between like French grip and German. So for me, a great way to practice ghost notes is, you know, you just practice some basic rudiments. The paradiddle is one of them. I mean, I know some people are bored to death playing the paradiddle, but the paradiddle is really really nice to practice your ghost note with because you can utilize accents as well. So if you would just accent the first stroke of the paradiddle, just the first single stroke of the paradiddle, you know. So, what I do with the ghost notes is basically I'm just catching the rebound. So, you know, it's so catching the rebound, you know, instead of just letting the stick go, you know, like that, I'm catching the rebound. I'm doing like a kind of a push-pull motion, kind of. It's like a mix between. I mostly use molar technique, you know, when I drum, but it's like a mix between that and push-pull. So. And since we're accenting the first rim shot, like the first stroke of the paradiddle, you want your hands to, you know, stay close to the drum, because then, you know, my movement, I don't know if you can see my my right hand, is just doing this, you know. There's like a very small, you know, tap tap. So it's a small push pull motion. I'm not keeping my hands like super strict, you know, very like marching band style, you know, like so close to the drum. You know, I'm still relaxed and I have that kind of flowy motion to my hands. You know, so paradiddles are great for practicing ghost notes. Another, like, a bit more advanced way to practice is if you do the paradiddle diddle. So the paradiddle diddle is right, left, right, right, left, left. Some of you out there may know this already, but the paradiddle diddle, right, left, right, right, left, left. So it's, some people call it the inverted six-stroke roll, which you can definitely call it that, but I know it as the paradiddle because it's paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle. And you can practice that the same way. Just, you know, start at a slow tempo and then gradually increase the speed, and just use paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle. So you just accent that first stroke of the paradiddle diddle. Same goes with the left hand. And if you want to combine them both, I love this exercise. It's paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle. And then, just because if you start with the left hand lead, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle, what happens next? Well, you're going to start the paradiddle diddle with your left hand. So that's a great, like, both speed exercise, but also that kind of finesse, like stick control, you know. You know, so that's one of my absolute favorite exercises when it comes to, you know, both stick control but ghost notes. You know, because you focus on keeping those, you know, keep them relaxed, but keep the sticks really close to the snare drum. You know. All right, let's see here. How long have you been playing? I've been playing since right before I turned 11, so damn, it's like 23 years this year. Yeah, 23 years, 24. Yeah, over 20 years anyway. So like 23 years I've been playing drums, and you know, I started as a kid. You know, right before I turned 11. So the first, I don't know, the first few years, I didn't take it seriously, which, you know, to me, you know, when you're a kid, you shouldn't take music too seriously. You know, I still don't take music too seriously. But, you know, when you're a kid, you have other interests as well, you know. So even if you find your passion with the drumming, you know, don't focus solely on drumming, because, you know, you'll find out later if that's what you want to do. Which happened for me, you know. It was like when I was maybe 16 or something. That's when I found out, like, oh, I really want to do this. Like, I mean, I always loved drumming. I always loved playing music, but around like 15, 16, somewhere there, I was just like, you know, I'm going to do this for a living. I love this. So that's when I started, you know, practicing more, practicing more, first of all, and then practicing more, like, with an intent of, like, I want to be better at this. I want to practice technique. I don't want to just play songs, you know. So, yeah, it's been a long time. Goodwin, what's up, man? How are you doing? Let's see here. It seems like the six-stroke roll is such a go-to for a lot of drummers. It's also the hardest for me to get down. It's messy when I move around the kit. Yeah, I mean, it takes practice a lot. It did for me. So, Uh, the proper 6-stroke roll is right, left, left, right, right, left. What I just played a couple of minutes ago is the paradiddle diddle, which is also a great way to practice, moving around the kit. But if you play a proper 6-stroke roll, as linear as sextuplets, one and a one and a two and a two and a three and a three and a four and a four and a one. Not the marching kind, don't play it straight, that's a straight 6-stroke roll. The linear 6-stroke roll, or as triplets, it flows much better around the drum set, in my opinion. And as you say, a lot of drummers use this because it has a certain flow to it. Because you get the first and last stroke as an accent if you want to. So you have the right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right. And when you move that around the kit, it translates really well across toms. Incorporate the hi-hat, cymbals, and once you get a hold of the 6-stroke roll in a really nice flow, in a really nice manner, and again, all it takes it's practice. You got to really focus on just practicing that rudiment with right, left, left, right, right, left hits. You got to stay relaxed, of course, but once you get a hold of that, you can mix in other rudiments as well. Go with the left flam triplet, which is essentially the left permutation of the flam accent, in, so you play like a 9-stroke roll, so right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. So and then you can come up with some really cool groupings as well, It's very versatile rudiment because you can blend in so many other rudiments into the 6-stroke roll, which is really nice. I love doing that. You might have seen it before. I did a video, maybe two years ago, can't remember, that I essentially said, like, you only need 5 rudiments when you're playing drums. I mean, some people might disagree with me. Sometimes I disagree with myself, but I have my basically top 5 rudiments that I always use, So it's like the left flam triplet, six-stroke roll, the blushta, single strokes, and some flam, a flam rudiment here or there, like the left flam triplet or whatever, So, like if you're gonna practice the potty flaw flaw or whatever, like if you're gonna use it, great, But I play a lot for a living, I play a lot of live shows. I've never used like the Swiss triplet or the potty flaw flaw or the Radamacue. Like I never use those rudiments live because most gigs are like. Most songs I play are just super basic. The band leader usually don't want like a bunch of chops, unless he says like, "Hey, on this song, I want you to really like kick ass." I want you to, really go at it. But otherwise, I use pretty basic stuff when I play live. If I do my own recordings, then I can use whatever I want, just as you can. So yeah, let's see here. Thanks for the questions, by the way. This is awesome. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see here. Marco, no question in particular. Just want to say thank you for your great content. Thank you, Marco. I recognize you amongst my comments, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Can you play funky drumming? Oh, you mean funky drummer? Oh man, I haven't practiced that groove in a while. I guess you're thinking about the James Brown song. I haven't practiced that in a while, so I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna think on it and see if I can try it. But it's such a beast of a track for drummers. It's a really hard song to play on drums. Clyde Stubblefield, man, he laid the foundation of funk drumming. Let's see here. I might have missed the question here. Or Swiss triplets, funky style. Swiss triplets. Yeah, I mean let's see here. And another. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to read as many comments as I can. Let's see here. Is this not your regular kit? Well, it depends, Mr. Fabry or Ray. Sorry if I'm butchering the names. I do not intend to. But yeah, Ray's question here. Is this not your regular kit? It depends. How long ago you've been watching my content, either, That Swedish Drummer or 30-second drum lessons or my Instagram or whatever. But my Pearl kit, I used to have a Pearl reference series kit. That's, I've packed that away in boxes, because since basically a year and a half ago, I am a proud endorser of Sonor Drums. So this is I have two kits. This is my first kit that I got from Sonor. This is an SQ1. It's a Birch shell kit. The finish is satin gold metallic, as you can see here. It's very nice, almost like retro style finish. Birch kit. The snare drum right now here, it's a brass snare. My second kit, the second snare drum, that's the SQ1 snare, so that's the same finish and birch shell as these ones. I also have another kit, which is a Prolite kit, Sonor Prolite. That's a maple kit in the finish Ebony white stripes, or white stripe. And I love that kit. I have black suede heads on it as well. I'm thinking about switching the drum heads to some Remo black suedes on this one as well. And I'm still using the stock heads because they're Remo ambassadors, so they're really good heads. But yeah, I love both my Sonor kits. So these two kits, since March of last year are my regular kits. I'm not using my Pearl kit anymore because I'm sponsored by Sonor. So I hope that answers your question. GX Filippo 08. How are you? I'm doing good, thank you. I hope you're doing good as well. Let's see here. Steph. Good evening from France. Can you play and explain this nice pattern with 2 ghost notes in the snare just before the 2 and 4, please? You play it at the beginning of the live. Thank you. Oh, I jam all the time, so I can't really remember, sorry, what I played right at the beginning of this. Let's see here. Nice pattern with 2 ghost notes on the snare drum just before the 2 and 4. I mean, I don't know, is it like if I play this one? I'm not sure if I might be misunderstanding here, but please let me know. But yeah, I love using ghost notes. Let's see here. Steve asks, hi, how would you incorporate bass drum with a 6-stroke roll or paddle-diddle diddle? Paradiddle diddle. Well, first of all, you can play some pretty cool grooves with both those rudiments. So if I play a 6-stroke roll, you know, so I mean that's the simple version, right? If you're talking about using it as a fill, I would probably more go like this, like. So, you know, I would incorporate the cymbals and play the kick, especially on the first and last accent. So the right, left, left, right, right, left, right. Those are the accented ones on the cymbals. I don't usually use the 6-stroke roller in another way. Not yet, anyway. You know, I'm still practicing, and I might, you know, someday I might find this. Like, oh, I like this pattern now, like playing. You know, you can switch out an accent or something with the bass drum, like. You know, or. But you know, that's all up to you to experiment with. Same with the paradiddle diddle. You know. With these kind of fast, ghost notey rudiments, I usually go, you know, with a bass drum and a cymbal on the first, or the accented strokes, you know. Or, you know, if I do the... as I mentioned before, earlier in this live, if I do the paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle, paradiddle, so then I might do the whole thing with the cymbals as well. So that's a really cool way to, it's very jazzy, you know, a lot of old school drummers use that kind of technique when they're playing, and I like it. It flows really nice on the drum set. Let's see here. How do you count 15 bars of the same beat? 15 bars of the same beat. 15. I'm not sure what you mean. My knees hurt. How do you count 15 bars of the same beat? Uh, oh, do you mean like count if you're doing sight reading or whatever, or you're just uh, counting the 16 bars in total? I mean, uh, in the beginning, I definitely counted bars. Like every beginner should, or beginner, but everyone practicing drums, and especially when they're facing something new and it might be a little bit difficult or whatever. You should definitely count out loud when you're practicing. Not when you're playing gigs. It might feel a little weird, but definitely go like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3 through 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, and so on. Um, the more experience you get, and I promise you this because I didn't think I would get this experience when I was younger, when I was starting out. But the more experience you get, you start to kind of feel patterns in 4. So if we're playing a groove in 4/4, just like. I know right now that I've played 4 bars, or 4 measures technically. So that's 4. I only need to play 3 sets of 4 more, and then I have 16 bars. So if I would play 16 bars for you guys right now, I would just go 1, 2, 2. So that's 16 bars of basically the same groove. I don't need to sit there and count. I'm not counting in my head. I know where I am, so that's where I can go 7. I know where I am just because I feel patterns in 4, basically in groups of 4. That's not always the case though, depending on which songs you're playing. Because, for example, in a lot of country songs, it's very common that, for example, in the chorus, they might not play, like, let's say the chorus in a regular song is 8 bars or 8 measures or whatever. In country, for example, they might play 7.5. So they're not playing a full 8 bars. So they might go on the 7th bar. They go 7, 2, 3, 4, 8. You know what I'm saying? So they might not go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then back to the 1. So they might do 7.5. So that's very common in that kind of music. So the more experience you get, you still feel patterns in 2 or 4 or whatever, but depending on the song, you definitely have to take that into account, that this song might not land on the 1 after 8 bars. It might land on the 1 after 7.5 bars. You know what I'm saying? So basically, to answer your question, I just feel I feel time, basically. So, and that you will too. A lot of drummers, a lot of experienced drummers, they just feel kind of patterns in 4 or 2 or whatever. They know when they played 4 bars. They know when they played 6 and 8 and 10 bars. It doesn't matter. Same thing goes with. I know this is not a question yet, but same thing goes with if you're playing groupings, or especially odd time groupings. So let's take 7, for example. So if you slow it down, you would count like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, and so on. So that's a great practice if you're new at it. Just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. But you know, when you're playing faster, when you've gotten that kind of pattern down, and when you play it like this, you know, you don't want to sit there going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, blah, 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 trying to count that. You start to feel that pattern with the axes. So you can go da 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Da 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 da. You know, same goes when you translate it on the drum set. Just like 1, 2, 3. It's the exact same thing. You start getting used to feeling time and feeling rhythms instead of just having to count them out loud all the time. Let's see here. William Pat or Pat. Yeah, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering the name. You know, I'm sorry, guys. What's up, CJ? What's up, you? Hope you're doing good. All right, let's see this. Mark Fuller. He may mean the beat that at the beginning of all your videos. Oh, yeah. Oh, like that one? Okay. So, just to clarify, this might not be the subject of this question, but a lot of my videos, right after my first talking point of like, oh, did you know that you can use Ghostos? You know, it's the whole content creator thing. And then I present what we're going to do. Like, oh, today I'm going to do 5 lessons for beginners. And then you hear this. Right? A lot of you recognize that beat. And I've actually done a lesson on this beat way back. I think like at least 4 or 5 years ago. Time runs fast, you know. It really flies, especially when we had a pandemic to get through, and those years just sucked. But yeah, that groove, it's based off of the paradiddle diddle, actually. I'm playing the paradiddle diddle as 30-second notes. So this is basically the groove. You know? But I'm playing... I'm playing a linear version of that groove, just. But I'm doing. So that's my signature drum beat. I'm glad you caught that. That's really funny. But yeah, that's how you play that one. Let's see here. Nothing wrong with jazzy. Now, hell no. I love jazz. What's up, Diego? Let's see here. Can you play a paradiddle with 16th note rests? Paradiddle with 16th note rests. Yeah. I mean... I'm not sure what you mean there. Can you play a paradiddle with 16th note rests? That question kind of doesn't work. Like, where are the rests, you know? Am I playing the paradiddle as 16th notes? Like, 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E. know, so that question doesn't make sense for me. Try to clarify, and I'll definitely try to show what you mean. But it's a good question. Let's see here. Mr. Rainbow loves coffee. Your drum kit reminds me of Keith Moon's kit. Perhaps. I haven't checked out his kits in a while, so I can't remember what they look like. But yeah, this it's a golden kit basically. Alright, you guys, this is awesome. I haven't done a live in a while. Let's see here. Garden Root Machine Shop. Hi from South Africa. Do you do mental practicing away from kit? Great hang, CJ. What? It's Ian, right? I think your name is Ian, if I'm not mistaken. I'm doing good, man. Let's see here. Hire from South Africa. Mental practicing away from the kit. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a drummer, and as most of us, we're kind of damaged by our instrument. We're always thinking in rhythms. I definitely do, you know, mental prepping. I can definitely sit at home. If you know, at home, I don't have a drum set. You know, this is my rehearsal space / studio. So at my, you know, if I'm sitting by the TV on my couch and just like watching something, you know, I might go. I might do some drumming, or if I'm just prepping for a song that I have to learn, I'm sitting there counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Like I'm setting up the set list or the structure of the song basically, and I can do just, you know, knee tapping, knee drumming. I do have a practice pad at home, so I can sit and, you know, practice some rudiments or whatever. But usually when I'm not at the drum set, because I'm here fairly often. You know, I'm doing recording sessions, and I'm doing content for you guys, content for Instagram, and yeah, you know, when I'm doing stuff like that, like when I'm at home, I don't want to think about drumming too much. I do it because, again, you know, damaged by my instrument. But yeah, I try to do other things when I'm away from the kit. You know, if I'm at home, I like to play video games just to relax, watch movies or a good show, read a bit, go out for walks. You know, I'm definitely thinking in rhythms a lot when I'm not here. But yeah, I try to be away from the kit when I'm not at the kit. You know, mentally. Affe GG. Tjenare, är det bra med det? Jo, det är bra. We've got another Swede in the chat here. Hi, I'm from Ethiopia. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? Please send what? I play the paradiddle on my steering wheel and dashboard, sitting in traffic. Oh yeah, I mean, I do that as well. I could definitely do it. Like every drummer's curse is like as soon as you flip the blinker on, the indicators, like do, 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 you start thinking drum grooves or whatever when you're, you know, at a stoplight or whatever. That happens to me all the time. Let's see here. Rowan or Rohan. Hey there. What's your preferred method of tuning your toms? Also, when did you start drumming? Okay, second question first. I started drumming right before I turned 11, and I'm turning 34 this year. 34. First question. my preferred method of tuning the toms, I'll deactivate the wires. So when I'm tuning toms, I like to tune my bottom heads, you know, a bit tighter than the batter head. So the top head is, I mean, if I would dampen it, it's not going to sound perfect since we're using phone audio, but that's the pitch of the batter head, for example. And I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the pitch of the bottom head. So why I use this is that if you tune this way, if you tune the bottom head a bit tighter than the batter head, you shorten the sustain naturally from the tom. And to me, at least, you know, everyone's different, but to me, you get the most amount of tone from your drum. If for example, you would tune your toms or your entire kit at the same pitch, both up and down, you would have a problem with a lot of ringing. You know, the tom would definitely just go boom, like a long ass note, you know, and you don't want that in recording situations. Like it might work for, like, if you're just recording toms and you just want to have, like, you might just record toms and no snare drum, no cymbals, whatever. It might work, you know, but in a recording situation in a studio, like, you hear that? Like, my tom just went boom. Like, the sustain is pretty short, and same with this one. Sorry. It goes boom, and then it's dead, you know. Same with my floor toms. So, you know, to each their own, basically. Everyone loves a different, or prefers a different sound out of their drums. But to me, this is the optimal way to tune, because when I mix my drums, I rarely have any problems with, like, sympathetic ringing, or that the toms are just like, oh, they're ringing forever, while I want, like, if I would play that, and let's say this tom is tuned perfectly in pitch with both heads, if I do this one would keep on ringing. Like, when I'm done with the fill, it would go, you know, and that sounds really weird when you're recording drums. It's gonna sound really bad, you know. So yeah, that's my preferred way of tuning. And then even if I tune to get the, you know, minimal kind of sustain my toms, I still put some gels or tape or whatever on the drum heads, both on the top head and the bottom head, just to, you know, control the tone just a little bit, to control the sustain. You know, it depends on the drum as well. Like a birch shell might ring a little bit more than a beechwood kit, for example, or a brass snare might ring, you know, longer or darker than a wood snare, for example. So, you know, it's all different. But yeah, great question. Let's see here. I learned about it from pianists. I can't play loud, so I use it a lot. Works well, thanks. Nice. Please try to right, left, right, kick, kick. Right, left, right, kick. Yeah, okay. So right, left, right, kick, kick. Yeah. You know, that's I use that as like it's not the same, but I use the 5+1 rudiment, which is like, it's instead of two kicks, it's a really fun pattern to play as well. Let's see here. Have you ever tried playing on a Sonor kit? This is a Sonor kit, man. This is a Sonor SQ1. I'm a Sonor artist, actually. I'm the third drummer in Sweden to get a sponsorship with Sonor. So this here is my SQ1 snare. This is the same snare drum that came with this kit. So it's an SQ1 Birch kit in satin gold metallic. So this is one of my kits. I also have a Sonor Prolite kit, which is a maple kit. And you know, down the line, I'm not in a rush to do it, but I will design my own SQ2 kit when the time comes. But yeah, I love Sonor Drums so much. I love the sound. I've been a fan of Sonor Drums since I first heard Gavin Harrison play. I think he was the first drummer that I, checked out that I knew played Sonor Drums, and just fell in love with his sound, of course, but just the way that Sonor Drums are built. And then I found out that, Jojo Mayer plays Sonor, Benny Greb plays Sonor, Danny Carey plays Sonor. Like, so many huge heroes of mine that plays this drum set, and I'm honored to be a Sonor artist. But yeah, so I have tried playing a Sonor kit. Let's see here. Lindsay, how do you tune right? My toms suck. Well, I mean, tuning is... I actually have a tuning course coming. I'm planning on launching a website later this year, hopefully, and I've done some lesson packs that I'm gonna sell, and I'm also gonna sell a tuning course. So you'll find out more in that one if you want to buy that course. But first of all, tuning drums it's sort of it's like an imperfect science, Some drummers might call it a black science, because it's really it's hard to get a grasp on. I don't know why they call it that, but I call it an imperfect science, because there's no right or wrong way to tune a drum set or a single drum. There's definitely preferences you can go after, and there are ways that could make the drum sound quote unquote better, than another drum, or in another way. So for example, let's take the snare drum as an example. You'll get this one for free, just a little bit of insight to this course. But so a drum it's a membrane, right? It's a shell with two opposite sides. And for the snare drum, I like to tune the bottom head tabletop tight, almost, So it's, as you can hear, it's very tight. It's very high pitched, because the snare drum, the snare side head, it's very thin. You can stretch it really tight. So if you keep the bottom head of the snare drum really tight, you basically get the, let's see here, you basically get the, to me at least, you get the optimal sound from your snare wires, basically. I mean, even just positioning the snare wires correctly can be a pain in the ass. I know, because I've done that so many times. But yeah, keeping the bottom head pretty tight will get the optimal sound, and again, shortest amount of sustain from your drum. And then at that point, you can basically tune the top head however you want, you know. You can also mod it, you know, you can use one of these. So this is a big fat snare drum head. This is the one that calls, I think it's called Steve's Donut. So as an example, I have a little gel here that dampens the ringing noise, because this is it's a steel drum, or a metal drum I should say. It's a brass snare drum. So it has a very distinctive ring to it. But if I would use this one, the ring is almost completely gone, and I'm left with a dry kind of sound to the snare drum. You know, you can also put tape on there. You can put several of these. You know, the more heads you put on the top head, you lower the pitch, and it dampens the head even more. But yeah, so it takes some time to get used to tuning drums, basically. You got to do it a lot of times to get good at it. But, you know, instead of trying to tune your drums, let's say once a year or whatever, you can try to do this. Like within an hour, you can remove all your heads from the drum set, put them on, finger tighten it up, and then try to tune it to a sound that you prefer. Then take them off again, do the same procedure, take them off, do the same procedure, take them off, do the same. And then like within an hour, you have, let's say, you know, 10 years of tuning experience in 1 hour, you know. So it just takes time. It takes time and patience and perseverance when you're tuning to get to be, you know, satisfied with the sound of your drums. Now, of course, all drums sound different as well. Like everything factors into a drum sound. You know, what kind of rims you're using, the hoops, the shell type, like the wood type of the shell thickness. Everything is accounted for. You know, so you kind of. Let's say if you have 3 different drum sets. I know a lot of drummers don't have 3 different drum sets. I have 2. Well, yeah, I have 3, but one's packed away. But they all sound different. You know, you're not gonna tune the exact same way on a Birch kit as you might do on a maple kit. You know, because it's gonna sound different. You know. But really good question. Let's see here. I like harmony chords with the toms. I use a different snare and cymbal when there's a keychain. Yeah, okay. I totally get that. I know a few drummers. They kind of tune their drums to a certain key. I don't. Mostly because I do a lot of recording sessions, and if I'm recording a song, and let's say that song is in the key of G, and my toms or whatever is tuned in the key of F sharp, it's not going to sound really good in the song. You know, you have to do a lot of like pitch correcting or EQing or whatever. So I try to find kind of some sort of midway, you know, to go with. It doesn't work all the time. I mean, for different recording projects, I might like actually retune the drums, because an artist might say, hey, I want your toms to be really flat and dead, or I want them to really be really boomy, or can you get the rack toms to you know, to their lowest possible good sounding pitch, you know, and then I try to do that. But most of the time, you know, I'm hired because people have heard my sound and they go, I want that kind of drum sound on my record or in my song. So, you know. I guess it works, you know. So Tuning and keys, it's completely fine if that's what you're after. I haven't analyzed like the key difference. Like I don't know what the difference in pitch is between the bottom and the top head. Like I haven't done that kind of analysis. But again, you know, I never use a tune bot or a dial tune or something like that. Like to me, that's kind of a waste of money because, you know, uh, I love this quote from Benny Greb, and he was like, he said this in one of his clinics, I think. He was like, "What if I told you that you could get a device that could measure airwaves into like the into atom form? You know, like you can hear it as such a minimal difference. Well, you do already. You have your ears. Like your ears are built to hear tonal differences. So I mean, you don't have to use a tune bot and be like, oh, this is 135 hertz. This is 167. Like, you don't have to do that. You can just go, if you know the difference between and or you can tune a drum, you know? So, some of you might not agree with me. That's fine, but I'm never going to buy a tune bot or something like that. Let's see here. Great questions, you guys. This is really fun. I haven't done a live thing in a while. Let's see here. I have my snare wires taped, but we'll try tightening the bottom head more. That tip as well. Like you can tape the sides of your snare wires, and that might get a really cool like 70s vibe, like 70s sound to your snare drum. But to each their own. All right, guys. I'm gonna take a few more questions, and then I gotta get going. It's getting late here. It's 9 p.m. here in Sweden, and I need to get some dinner. I haven't eaten yet, but I'll try to answer a few more questions. Thank you so much for watching this. This is awesome, and joining me for this live stream. I might do another one later this week. We'll see, but this is really fun, you guys. Let's see here. Please, guide for drumless songs where I can find or make one. Well, if you have, you can go to the Moises app. They have a website and they have an app where you can remove drums from songs. I've tried it. It's pretty cool if you just want to, practice some drumless songs. Let's see here. My knees hurt. Do you wax the edge of your drum shell before putting the head on? No, never do that. I never put wax on my drums. The only thing I do when I switch drum heads, I remove the top and bottom head, and then I just have a clean cloth to just, take away dust and everything. I just clean the rims and I clean the hoops, but I never wax or anything like that. I wouldn't do that. The only kind of maintenance I do like externally to a drum shell, or it's not the drum shell, but if I notice that, for example, I have an older drum and it's kind of squeaky when I try to tune it, it's usually that the grease that's in the tuning lug has dried out, and then I actually put some I think it's called white lithium grease in there. It's the best kind of grease or lubricant that you can get for your hoops. All right, let's see here. One more question. I'm just gonna go. Please play Jambi. I actually just jammed that song a few hours ago, so not this time, but maybe another time. Let's see here. Great live stream. Thanks for answering the questions. New subscriber. That's awesome. My knees hurt. I hope they don't hurt because of drumming, because then you really need to check on that. All right. Let's see here. Do you know how to not ask the same question 5 times? Don't get started with like fighting in this comment section, please. But yeah, all right, you guys, I gotta get going. Gotta get something to eat. I've done some recording. New videos are coming. Either I'm gonna do 5 separate videos or 1 video with 5 examples. I haven't decided yet, but thank you to everyone that has participated in the poll of you know, doing you know, I did that poll of like, should I do one example per lesson or several, you know? And most of you guys said 1 example per video, but it was pretty tight. It was like 56, 40 something, you know. So it was almost 50-50. So I'll see what I'll do there. But thank you so much for watching, everyone, and good luck with your drumming, and I'll see you guys soon.